Welcome. I'm here with author Michelle Aleckson. It's so good to talk to you in person.
You too.
I just so enjoy you as a person.
Oh, thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you. And last time we talked, we were on Zoom.
Right. Yep.
And you got to talk about your books.
Yep.
And since then, you've had a few more come out.
Yep.
So why don't you kind of tell us about your newer books?
Sure. These newer books have, the fun part about this is I've drifted a little from just contemporary small town romances into more suspenseful romances. So a lot more romantic suspense this time around, and that's been really fun.
Awesome. Can you go into a little detail on your books?
Sure.
And I was going to ask you too, like they're a little kind of fire and rescue.
Yep.
So what kind of drew you to that, or what do you like about that, writing about that?
Yeah, sure. Part of it was my publisher asked me. Like they actually, in another line, someone couldn't, someone had to drop out of a contract or something like that. And so I was working in Lisa Phillips's world with Last Chance County world, and it's Last Chance County Fire and Rescue. So that was part of it, but I actually really enjoy that part of suspense because it's, I don't really like the darkness of the depravity of humanity sometimes, which some suspense writers love. Like they love that crime element and getting into someone's mind. And there's just so much darkness in the world. What I like to write things that are exciting, and I like that part of suspense. And so Fire and Rescue, yes, there's some bad guys, and there are some bad guys in my book, but it's also more about like natural disasters and things that yes, there's danger, but I don't feel like it's quite as dark and creepy, I guess. But
gory.
Yeah. And that's just not me. Like I actually like reading other people's things, the suspense writers, but personally the Fire and Rescue has that element of suspense, but it's also, I don't know, it's nice when you're fighting natural elements sometimes instead of just bad guys. And the other thing that I love about that is that my mom actually was a firefighter and a paramedic at one point, and so growing up a little bit with that. And then I have a best friend who is also a first responder and a paramedic, and so it's a little part of that world that I've been there. I've hung out at the fire stations or the rescue bays and seen that kind of world a little bit, and so it was something I was more comfortable with. And then even my best friend, when she couldn't be a paramedic, she became a dispatcher. So I've had people that I could talk to and quickly be like, hey, what would this be like? Or where I live in a very rural part of Minnesota in a small town, it's a lot of volunteer stations and volunteers who do the first responder or are the firefighters, and so they're people in my own community that I know and I can go to and ask questions. And one friend, she is a firefighter, and she gave me a tour of their things and showed me the trucks. So I could draw on people I already knew, had the resources, a little bit of of that background, I guess, I could use in the books, and that made it fun.
Yeah, that's a great resource, because I feel like I would just be on this hamster wheel of did I get this right?
Right.
Well, and like I would never get off it, and
right.
then I would never get a book done, and so that's
yeah, it's easy to send a text like, hey, how would you say this? Or yeah.
Nice. Okay, so let's go into a little more detail on your books.
Yeah, so now this summer I got to write a story in a series called Chasing Fire Alaska. Last summer I got to do Chasing Fire Montana. There were, I think, 6 of us writers. There's at least 6 books, and we spread them out over the whole summer. So this time we are in Alaska, and this is a group. Both series are about a group of hotshot firefighters and smoke jumpers. So smoke jumpers are the ones that jump out of a plane, parachute into the wilderness to fight fires, and hotshots, they're usually like bust in, but they're out in the wilds fighting things. And so in my book this summer, it's called Burning Escape, and Orion is my hero, Tori's my heroine, and they are smoke jumpers, and they're kind of rivals at work because they are both the rookies, and they were both kind of shooting for this that last spot on this very elite team. Like, it's so dangerous. It's but they get stuck together in the wilderness of Alaska, and they're trying to outrun a militia. They're trying to outrun fires, and trying to get back to their team. And then they run into an off-grid community, and they have to fake marriage to kind of stay in this community and try to get back to their base. So it was just a lot of fun, a lot of wild adventures and tropes I like a fake marriage and things like that.
Did you get to talk to any smoke jumpers?
I haven't. I did watch some. It's amazing what you find on YouTube. I have watched some videos. Some will they have footage from the airplanes, and they show you all the equipment they use, and read a few biographies of hot shots and smoke jumpers. So I don't know anyone personally that's done it, but
how did authors do it before the internet? Honestly,
know. Thank goodness for libraries. I guess.
Yeah. All right. So what do you have coming out in the future?
Well, that one, so Burning Escape just came out in July 7th, and October 25th, I'm going back to the Last Chance County world with Lisa Phillips, and we have it's one book, but it's 3 different novellas in it, and there is an overarching theme and a mystery. There's about escaped convicts, and each story deals with kind of how they're chasing after one of those convicts, and each of them has a firefighter or a rescuer and a police officer. And so my story in that is, it's about a serial killer, a victim, and so she's the police officer's trying to keep her safe, and she's a firefighter, and so she's trying to do her job too. But it's fun. It's all set at Christmas time, and I can't write a book that does not have a happily ever after. So
Thank you.
It will all end well.
Thank you.
Yes. So that comes out at the end of October, just in time for the Christmas season.
Oh, super. Okay, so if people want to learn more about you, I'm assuming you have a website.
Yes, my website is michellealeckson.com. Michelle, Michelle, Aleckson, Aleckson. So just michellealeckson.com. Mm-hmm. And you could always find me on Facebook or Instagram too, under those names. So awesome. And I love connecting with readers that way.
Perfect. And then, so I've been asking everyone that I've talked to about this. Why do you believe in Jesus?
So growing up, I thought Christianity was really about morals, just being a good moral person in society. But as I've gotten older, I'm realizing, there's a lot of religions that kind of preach good morals. So what's the difference? And I believe it was a professor in college, or maybe a preacher I heard somewhere down the road, that explained it that Christianity is the one religion where instead of humanity reaching up towards divinity, seeking that divine blessing or divinity themselves, or trying to be good enough to reach up to that standard, Christianity is the one religion where it's about divinity and the divine coming down to us. It's about, Jesus became human, came down to rescue us. It was not because of anything we did, and we can't. And the older I get, the more I realize that. I could never reach that kind of a standard. And so thank God for the grace that He came down to us and to rescue us. And that's the only place that I've ever been able to find that hope and that peace is in the grace of God and being redeemed by Jesus. So,
very good. All right. Well, thank you for talking with me today.
Yes.
Again, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I enjoy your personality.
Thanks. Yeah, I love that we could do this in person today.
Yes.
So,
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.